Welcome everyone. I hope you guys are doing well today. Today I will be playing Fall into Prayer, which is an entry to the Yandere Game Jam 2025. This game was created by Games of Crimson. In this game, your life only changes for the better after converting to a new religion. And now it seems you've been chosen by God for a very important role. So it's definitely a cult, right? That's what I'm getting. I'm getting very culty vibes, especially with the altar and everything. So it's interesting to see, I guess, what God in this religion has their attention on us. I'm not sure if it's an actual God or like a false prophet type God kind of thing, but I guess we'll just have to see. As always, I have left links in my description if you want to try out the game yourself. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Hi, this is Future Lottie. I definitely forgot to tell you guys that there are some warnings in this game, some trigger warnings. They're very, very important. I just finished my gameplay of this and I definitely need to tell about these warnings 100%. So this game is 18 plus. It has heavy amounts of dubcon, non-con. There's heavy religious themes, manipulations, drugging, animal harm. It mentions of an implied death. Please take these trigger warnings seriously. There are some scenes I am not sure a lot of people would enjoy. So like when they come up, I'll put like little timestamps in the bottom to let you know where that scene is, and you can just skip over that to the next part of the game. Because that one definitely kind of caught me off guard. I definitely sat there for like 5-10 minutes in just silence as I soak in what is happening in these scenes. Okay, that is Future Lottie gone. Go back to the rest of the gameplay. All right, before we begin, tell me about yourself, my newly devoted follower. Ooh, is this the God talking to me? All right. So I am definitely Lottie and she, her. Welcome to your home, Lottie. Thank you. Hopefully I have a nice and cozy room. Hopefully there's some Wi-Fi. I always need Wi-Fi. Ooh, okay, it's the altar. We belong to him, and you should always remember that he is only one for us. Our duty is to serve him and help others serve him better. The voice of the head priest floated throughout the chapel like a divine song. Your chosen family surrounded you in a warm glow of the candles, basked in the glory of your God. It was beautiful. A few years ago, before you converted, was the worst time of your life. Nothing ever felt like it was worth it. Nothing you did ever mattered. You were always stuck in the same place. It was always empty, no matter what you did. You survived each day, but for what? You searched for a point to any of it, only to find none. It was awful. But you exhaled the breath you held in your lungs, and the past fell away. You smiled as you let the moment and spirit fill you. You weren't stuck anymore. Friends found you. They invited you in, made you feel like you mattered, and saved you. They introduced you to their and your God. And that was the spark. It gave your life purpose, and you knew you were doing something great. You were hailing and worshiping the Great One, and you knew it was the greatest blessing a human could ever have. The feeling, the spirit in your chest swelled, so powerful you couldn't help but raise your hand in praise. Fellow faithful around you did the same. You swayed as you felt the moment and basked in the majesty of it all. Fuzzy warmth fills you from head to toe, all pulling your heart toward your God, where it belonged, where you felt happiness and a satisfaction beyond anything you ever felt. The head priest nodded. You pleased him. Okay. So it looks like we found religion and it has helped us mentally. I am not a religious person myself, so I can't say I understand any of this, like being part of a church. So reading how the MC feels about everything is very interesting. You've pleased God, All that he asks is that you do the same every day. You knew the next step of these meetings by heart. One by one, everyone fell into song, the final step of a congregation. You poured your heart and put every glowing feeling that overflowed out of your chest into your voice. Everyone smiled as their voices came together. The final notes lingered in the air. Everyone stood in place until the head priest stepped away. Oh, okay. So it looks like the sermon, I guess that's what you want to call it? The service is done. You slowly lowered your arm, but the wonderful feeling still lingered. Your body and heart felt light and airy, like your soul had been renewed. You stood with a smile and smoothed the robe over your clothes. You turned to look for your friends. When you spotted them, you jumped up and waved. They smiled and waved you over enthusiastically. Your smile grew, and you made your way through the throng of followers, each of whom greeted you with a smile as you passed. Hey! Oh! So is everyone here wearing this specific outfit so we don't know what anyone really looks like? Hi! Elena bounced on her toes. So, what was the idea you had? You picked up from last conversation like nothing happened. Elena clapped her hands together. Okay, so what if the main character's quest is actually a trap? Joris was helping me brainstorm why they wanted to trap her, since, she wasn't even doing anything that would disrupt any evil plans in the first place. I just hope I can get around to writing it. I'm sure you can make some time. Thank you. By the way, did you play that game I lent you? Sorry, I never got around to it with everything else going on. Alright, so I'm at least happy that these characters do have lives outside of their church. I might have some free time tonight. Maybe I could play it if that's alright. Sure. I'll get it back as soon as I can. Don't you three have some chores to get to? Oh, yes, sorry, ma'am. The elder woman teased with a laugh as she walked by. Okay, everyone's very friendly with each other, which I'm immediately liking. I'm kind of scared what's going to happen, though. What's going to make them unfriendly to me? Sorry, Auntie Jan. She straightened and smiled awkwardly as she left. Before you shared a look with your friends, and you laughed again. You're on chapel cleaning duty with me, right? Yep. I'm not. I gotta go somewhere else for my chore. Talk to you later. You waved goodbye. You both got out some supplies and went over the list. It was an important job. Your heart pounding in your chest at the honor of being able to clean such an important space for everyone. And for him. You spotted Olivia, who you hadn't gotten to talk to in a while. You waved and she smiled and waved back. She was also assigned the same chore, which meant you might be able to talk with her a bit as you cleaned. Time to get started. Okay. So we get to click. So we gotta clean the altar. So what do we do? Pray, vacuum, wipe down pews, replace incense, replace candles. And then Jen left a little message. You can do it. Thank you. I don't mind doing chores, honestly. I just gotta start doing them. So I guess we'll do the incense. Just as you're about to get the replacements, Trey came in and offered to help with it. Apparently, the chore they were assigned to didn't need as many people as they thought, so they came to help. Thank you, we could always use more hands. This will make it go quicker. You thanked them, and you both got the incense, as well as the candles. They set them out with you while cracking several jokes. Occasionally, Elena would ask what the joke was, and you had to stop laughing first to tell it. Okay, incense is good. So next would be the candles. You picked up the candle replacements Trey already helped get, and started placing them and throwing the old ones in a bucket. So we got that. Is the altar left? Oh, that's pray. Okay, so we'll do pray last then. So let's vacuum. You plug the vacuum into one of the outlets and ran it over the carpet and floor between the pews. Olivia was wiping off the pews next to you, and you smiled to each other. Too bad the vacuum was too loud to easily have a conversation. All right, and then we'll help Olivia with the pews. You got a cloth and cleaner and began wiping down the wooden benches. You collected crumbs that gathered in the edges and swept them into your hand to throw in the trash. You stood up with a deep inhale and looked over your work. It was much cleaner, and all thanks to you. You chat with Olivia as she did the next one over. All right, and all we gotta do is pray and we're done. You walked slowly up to the altar in reverence. Your eyes took in every detail. It was beautiful. Your eyes closed and you bowed your head before it. Your heart filled with praise as you dedicate your thoughts to your God. All right, if only chores were actually easy to do in real life. After putting everything away, you just sat and talked. You have to be gathered there in just a few minutes anyway. People were gradually filing in and taking their seats like clockwork. We just finished a service, so why are people here now? I would assume after chores you kind of just leave for the day? Something important was supposed to be imparted this congregation, and you felt excited to know what. Ooh, okay. I don't really have any guesses, but I'm assuming it might have to do with us. It might be another fundraiser. Ooh, I'd like that, but I hope I'll be able to handle another one. Maybe Olivia's music is finally getting released. Oh, Olivia, is she like a singer? Trey came back in out of nowhere and slid in next to you. Olivia laughed. I think I would know if that happened. I promise, it's almost there. I think it's great you're making music to glorify our God. Of course, it would be religious music. I can't wait to listen to it. It would be nice to have some music about him. Just as you finish, a hush went over the crowd, and the head priest walked slowly to the podium. Welcome, followers. He began in a deep, rich voice, one that brought everyone's undivided attention. It was today that your great God has decided to take a new follower into his arms in the beyond. The beyond? Not death, right? Quick glances and brief whispering occurred. Was this? He is loving. It is every human's purpose to love him and bring more to love him. But some are given the highest purpose of dedicating their lives to only loving him. It is the most important thing in life, to dedicate everything you do to adore him, as everything else is temporary and worldly. It's the happiest and most fulfilled humans can be. You saw several people in your peripheral nod with tears in their eyes. You were all called here for this divine moment, for God to reveal who will be blessed with this role. Your heart stirred. Someone around you was about to be a new companion to the God. Would it be someone you knew? Time seemed to stop, and you held your breath. He closed his eyes and lifted his head, his arms raised to let the will of your God fall upon him. Some people around you did the same. Their hearts sung and awaited. Slowly, his arm lowered and swept across the room until it slowed to a halt, pointed in your direction. Oh, shit. Okay. This should be a good moment, at least to us in game. Your eyes darted to see who he was pointing at. Lottie. Your breath caught. There was a ringing in your ears. Oh my goodness! Congrats! Elena whispered while your mind was swimming. You could barely tell what was going on as your friends excitedly pushed you up and towards the altar. The priest smiled and only waved his fingers once. Your feet obeyed, taking you to him. Your heart thumped and you walked faster. He took your hand in his. God's chosen one. Now, we must begin the holy process of making the ordained follower fit to be his. She must be cleansed and prepared in isolation for the ritual to give her to him in accordance with his commands. Ritual! There's the culty vibes I was getting. I was just thinking, oh, this doesn't seem too bad. Everyone's nice and happy and friendly. They have hobbies outside the religion. They're all doing their parts, but now it's getting a bit darker. I'm having like a slow pit feeling in my stomach, and I am not happy what's going to happen next. Your breath trembled. Is this really happening? He held your hand tightly. He held your hand gently. It is, my dear. Smile. You're standing before your God. Your eyes darted around. You looked up, and you thought you could feel something looking back down on you. In a moment, helpers of priests took you by the arm and guided you away. Before you could blink twice, you were whisked away, out of the heavenly light and into the dim halls. You turned your head to say something to your friends, but by then, you were already too far gone, carried away to your purpose. In a blink, you were in a room. The door closed behind you, and it was quiet. You were alone. You took a deep breath. Your whole body thrummed. This was amazing. This was crazy. You paced. In one corner was a mattress with some blankets, a table in the middle of the room, a metal tub in the corner furthest from the door, and an altar. You could worship. It could calm you down. What were you supposed to do to get prepared for the ritual? Maybe someone would come in and tell you. But weren't you supposed to be isolated? What were you supposed to do to get prepared for the ritual? How long were you staying here? Maybe someone would come in and tell you. But weren't you supposed to be isolated? Is this a test? Is the God even real? That's another thing I'm thinking about. If God has his chosen companions, do they just get like spirited away and then they're gone? If there is no actual God, what happened to them? Were you supposed to know? Was this something you missed since you're newer? What if they came in expecting you to be ready when you haven't done a thing? But you're supposed to be isolated. If you leave, you'll get in trouble and ruin the process. You disappoint him. Drawn in, you walked up to the altar, or shrine. The light from it felt comforting, and you pulled you in like a trance. This was the best thing to do with your time. You breathe out all thought and focus on it, only it, and let your thoughts wander to your God. Only him. You're going to be his. You pushed out all doubt regarding that topic and praised him in your heart for this blessing. Until all you could feel was the gratitude and the warmth of his presence. Any temporary worry left, and you worshiped the one thing that would last. The door suddenly opened, and you jumped and turned. Weren't we supposed to be isolated? Who is it? Your eyes widened in disbelief when you saw the white. Head priest. You panicked and gave a quick bow. Hello. Don't tell me you're going to say you're the God. The door was already shut behind him. He watched you. Were the other characters' eyes a glowing red when they were around us? Now I can't remember, and I feel like this might be important. You've been chosen for a greater purpose. I am here to do everything required for you to get ready for it. Everything must be done by my own hands, to prevent any potential impurities and to perform it exactly right. Do you understand? No, I don't trust this at all. I do not want this man touching me. You nodded. There's no need to be stiff. He placed his hand on your shoulder. Even through his mask, his eyes seemed to glow. Yeah, I don't trust that. I gotta watch out if any other character comes in for the red eyes. And if he comes back again, we gotta make sure he has the red eyes. You can ask me anything. All you must do is relax, and I will take care of everything. No need to think and worry yourself. Your mind was swimming with the new information, and that someone this important even standing before you. Before you could ask anything, or even think of anything to ask. You don't need to wear that here, you know. Huh? He pointed to the robe and mask you almost never took off. You knew why everyone always had to have it on. It was the first rule that was told to you. Your friends let you know that day one, that it was a sign of respect, and that every follower was the same and equal in his eyes. And you've been obeying it ever since joining. You're in isolation. There's no one here to see, so there's no use in wearing it here. You blinked as your mind slowly processed it. It made sense. You'd be here alone. But his eyes stayed trained on you. He was here. You swallowed. But you're still here. Is this a test? The words felt stupid as they left your lips. He was the head priest, the highest one who carried out your God's will. He knew the most out of everyone. But you already said them. Sorry. You took a deep breath. He's the head priest. He knew the will of your God the best of anyone. With a breath, you slowly pulled the robe over your head and slipped it off. Despite the layers of clothes underneath, it still felt cold and strange not to have the robe on. Your hand trembled just slightly as you reached for your mask. You paused and forced your hand to pull it off. As you slowly lowered it from your face, your eyes shifted from his to the floor. This was nothing different from before you joined, but you still felt so exposed. Look at me. You focused your gaze on him. He offered a soft smile. I can see why our God chose you. In a creepy sense? You smiled in return. Thank you. He straightened his back to his full height before continuing. I want you to be as comfortable as can be throughout the cleansing process. Okay, there's nothing wrong with asking questions, right? How long will this process take? If I need to stay here to be cleaned, how long would that take? It will take time. It is a meticulous process, one that cannot be rushed. That's not a definitive answer. I need like some numbers, like a few hours, maybe like a week. I'm sure you understand that. A gift to the most highest one must not be tarnished. Such a gift must be worthy, and thus cleansed for when sent to our God. And so, it will be that you remain separated from the worldly, and when you are cleaned, you'll be without flaw and ready for the Lord. You nodded. There was a moment when the reality that you had such an important role to him sunk in. You prayed you'd be good enough. I hate to leave you, but I must prepare the first step in the process for you. But while I'm gone, you'll have time to pray and get acquainted with your God on a deeper level. Prayer is a rope that binds us to him, so spend every second in prayer and worship. I will be back. His robe swished as he turned and opened the door. It closed softly behind him, and you heard a lock being turned. Now, no one else could come in. You were alone again. You took a breath and sat on the mattress. It was all happening so fast, but you did your best. Seeing him helped to calm your nerves a bit. Looks like he wouldn't have time to play George's game like you said after all. Would you ever be able to again? What was being a companion to God even going to be like? It had never been explained to you, and you never asked. Were you even actually worthy? You didn't want to question him, but what if there was a mistake? Sometimes when you prayed, it felt hard to connect to him, like you're tricking yourself into thinking your inner voice was God. Were you not trying hard enough? What if you're a bad follower? Why was your faith so bad? You felt panic and dread gnaw at you. You didn't want to be unfaithful. What if you displeased him? You took deep breaths. It was all right. You just needed faith, to trust in him. You just had to rely on him, and it would all be okay. You'd be here for a while, but it was all right. Eventually, you laid down and closed your eyes. You had no idea how long you slept. There weren't any windows or clocks. You're about to continue either sleeping or pacing when the door opening made you jump. You turned your attention to the head priest coming in again. Hello again. Okay, his eyes are still red. Behind him, he pulled buckets of water on a cart. Steam wafted off of the water and petals danced in it. Sorry for leaving you for so long. It's okay. I can tell what he's doing based on the water. I think this is fine. He smiled. Wonderful. From here on out, I'll make sure to pay more attention to you, since you are God's little chosen one. That's okay. I'm sure everyone else needs you. So understanding. You truly are a gem. I'm getting the ick from him. I'm getting a creepy feeling. I do not trust this priest at all. But this must be fulfilled. Until the ritual takes place, there is no one more important than you. Moving on, he almost floated over to the tub in the corner and began to pour the buckets into it. You watched quietly until only 2 buckets remained. He stood straight again and turned to you expectantly. Now, I know there's no way you're expecting me to undress in front of you. Are you going to bathe me? Strip. Huh? He tilted his head. Were you intending on bathing your clothes in the sacred water too? Every inch of you must be cleaned. I can't do that if your earthly clothes are blocking your body. Put that hand away. I don't like that. Though I suppose I did say I would do everything myself. You're very good for... Do not take off my clothes for me. He strode until he was in front of you. Oh, no. See, now I'm getting a weird chill. No. Your eyes widened. It hit you. He actually wasn't going to let you do anything yourself. His hands were steady as they tugged in your clothes and peeled them off, and you willed your body to stay still. Nope. I don't like this at all. Definitely giving that real creepy feeling. Dear God, the way words have this much power over me. You swallowed. This was fine. This was just what he had to do to prepare you. It was just a wash. Goosebumps pebbled across your skin as it was exposed to the air. Your underwear was tugged down, and you shuffled to get them off your feet. He held each foot to take your socks off, and you were completely bare. He stood again and smiled, before holding a hand out to you. Your ears were burning, and you cautiously took it. You did your best to steady yourself and stepped into the tub and sat down. You took a deep breath. He towered over you. He seemed so much bigger than you when you were sitting down. He dropped soap into the water and carefully poured one of the buckets over your head without the water getting into your eyes. It was set down with a soft clang, and he moved his hands and shampoo to your hair. His hands massaged your scalp, then rinsed it off, then went down to your shoulders and chest. He was diligent, keeping to his word of cleaning every inch. The warm water didn't make you feel any less feverish. His hands went between your legs and rubbed the soap in. You bit your lip. Oh, no, 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 no. What? Oh, hell no! He swirled his finger in the water for a moment before it pushed against your hole. No, no, what the fuck? I don't think I... You gasped as he pushed in past the ring of muscles, massaging the inside, going in and out. You bit your lip and held back a whimper. You wanted to open your mouth to say something, but as soon as it started, it stopped. He withdrew his finger and applied soap on your rear before rubbing it in, one hand on your shoulder to keep you in place. So, sir, that is sexual assault. And as far as I know, you're not really supposed to use soap in that area. It's self-cleaning. You just need like a washcloth and some water. So you're messing up my pH. Your mind was still reeling as his hands ran over your legs and thoroughly washed them. He rubbed your feet, and between your toes, he paused and stared. Good. He set them down and stood up. Blood was still rushing in your ears, and you swallowed. Thank you? He smiled. It was my pleasure. Yeah, I think it was, huh? You really enjoyed that, didn't you, freak? You stared at each other for a moment. You're free to take all the time to absorb the sacred water as you wish. You nodded and shifted in it. Hell no, I'm not saying that line. No. What more do you need to do? I need to know what's going to happen. He paused for a second before answering. Like here, your only job will be to serve him and worship him and love him, except you'll be in his presence. It is the highest honor a human can have. You should feel honored you get to be one. That does not help, so what does that mean to do that in his presence? He stared a moment longer. Unfortunately, I must leave to prepare the next portion. He picked up your clothes. You stared in confusion. Sir, what am I going to wear? He seemed to notice and stared back at you. Was there something you wanted to ask? Yes. You swallowed. What are you doing with... Your voice trailed off and tension grew in your lungs. Do you always ask so many questions? Is it wrong? I believe you remember. I would take care of everything, so that you would not have to lift a finger before the ritual. You're being cleansed. I must be thorough. So I took it upon myself to spare my limited time and wash these. Are you trying to guilt me? Spare my limited time? Bro, shut up. Right. Your ears and chest burned. He stood for a bit longer, reached out to pat your head. Remember to pray. I will be back. He carried your clothes and walked out. He was still willing to wash them, but you felt bad. You watched him leave and took a deep breath. You looked down at your naked body. At least there wasn't anyone to see you, and the room was so stuffy it at least felt comfortable. A thought occurred, and you looked around. There wasn't any towel. You guessed it was easy enough to drip dry. You settled back in and debated on getting out. Getting out of this religion, please. It felt too quiet. Your nerves felt tight. You breathed out and willed it to go away. You did feel really bad about your lack of faith in asking the question. You truly were just wondering, but it sounded wrong, and you shouldn't have said it. But it felt like something else was bothering you. Your mind scrapped for an answer until your eyes widened. That couldn't be it. The bath did feel strange, but it was necessary. You couldn't let doubts harm your faith again. This was your God's will, and the head priest was chosen for a reason. Besides, if he did want to do something, he could have done it long ago. He was just fulfilling his duty. Like you needed to. You couldn't even be a good follower. You stood there and slowly dried. The door opened once more. Hello. Hello again. You instinctively covered yourself. His fingers lightly held your wrist and lowered it. No need for that. There's no need to be shameful of your form. He smiled. It's time to begin the next step. Bro, don't let it be as violating as the bathing, please. He held up a large bottle. The liquid swirled. This will be poured over you to anoint your physical form. He stepped closer and gestured towards the table. You took a step towards it, turned, and placed your rear on it. His hand on your leg guided you to lay down on the table. Bro, is this man gonna give me a freaking oil massage? Oh my god. Oh my god, I feel so dirty and gross and disgusting. I might have to take a shower after playing this. Oh god, no, we're actually staring at the ceiling. Your heartbeat pulsed through every vein, and your world tipped backwards. You scooted back, and the priest's hands trailed along you. The tables felt cold. You only wore your own skin. You felt so exposed. You stared up at the ceiling stiff, and trying to calm down your breathing. In the corner of your eye, you could see him set up candles around you and light them one by one. Wisps of smoke twirled in the air. The smell wafted into your nose and made your senses calm. You can calm down. You're in the care of your God. He rubbed your arm once more before reaching for the bottle and pouring it all over your skin. It dripped and dribbled down your sides, tickling you and sending a shiver. Sorry. Relax. His hand smoothed over your hip and waist, the wet perfume sliding over you as he pressed down into your pliant skin. This won't work if you're stiff. Okay, I don't know what else you want me to do, sir. His fingers pushed in and massaged your muscles. Close your eyes. Give in. Is there even a God at this point? Does this guy just want to just touch his followers? This is not good at all. I don't like this. I don't like this. You obeyed and closed your eyes. The only sense to feel now was his hands rubbing up and down you, coercing your body into relaxing. Let his essence flow over you and fill you. To become his, you must be prepared. He ran along the inside of your thigh. Heat pulsed, and you took deep breaths. They slid over your pelvis and stomach up to your chest. Your head grew more blurry as his hands ran all over you more, in each gasp making you inhale more of the scent of the candle. You bit your lip hard to suppress a moan from your throat. Your vision swirled, and you closed your eyes again. Your body subconsciously arched up. He firmly pressed you back down. The pressure on your body lingered. His thumbs rubbed into your skin. You felt like you were burning. Your vision swam, and you could barely keep your eyes open. Dark forms came down on you. Black tendrils caressed and lapped at your body. Your brain felt like it was made of cotton. Everything pulsed. He was on top of you? Everything was moving. Hot rubbed your stomach. You couldn't suppress the noises in your throat as it tumbled out. Your eyes opened slightly, and your vision was swimming. You squirmed, and it was all muddied and fuzzy and wonderful and horrible. Something crashed. You trembled and quivered as you came down. His hands were smoothing on you again. It felt so warm this time. It was being rubbed into you. And your limbs went slack and everything faded. You woke up slowly. A thin blanket had been thrown over you. As you stirred, something felt... A feeling of horror went over you as you checked between your legs and felt the evidence of your own arousal. Was that why he wanted us to close our eyes? Your whole body flushed while your head was still swimming. Did you really just have a wet dream about the priest? I don't think it was a dream, unfortunately. When did you even fall asleep? It was so foggy, but you remember how it felt. Your face felt far too warm. Your whole body was too warm. You got the water pitcher and splashed yourself again and again. You exhaled long as the water dripped off your nose and jaw. On the bright side, your body felt renewed, like the perfume sunk in. It made your body more fit for a god. You just couldn't believe you fell asleep during it and had a dream like that. Was all that just because he was touching you? With another sigh, you decided to go to sleep again, but your dreams haunted you. Dark shapes pulled and swallowed you up. You admonished yourself for even feeling anything negative when you should only feel joy at your situation. Everyone you knew said it was the highest honor. Why are you even nervous? You guess you didn't know what would happen. Most of this time, you never knew what was going to happen. You prayed for him to take away the nerves cursing your heart. You didn't want to be pulled away from him. You weren't unfaithful. He always made you feel better. But then why wasn't it working now? Did you do something wrong? Was he testing you? We're seeing the situation is not good. We're not happy with what's going on, but we're kind of deluding ourselves that it's an us problem. Why did you feel tired when you hardly did anything? Actually, you were usually tired. Ever since joining, there are always so many things to do. Sometimes, it was like you barely had the energy or time to think. But it was always fine. Your friends and God were there. You couldn't imagine your life without them. Footsteps approached the door, and you walked up, ready for the next step. He came in, carrying something. This better be the last step, man. I'm done. You looked down to see what was in his arms. A bunny. He set the cage down on the ground and took the bunny out. Oh, do not, please. If this is going where I think it's gonna go. His nose twitched, and large, black eyes glanced around. The fuzzy, tiny animal tried to hop out of his arms. He held it tight and smiled, before quickly setting it on the closest surface, the altar, before it tried to jump away again. You reached your hand out, but paused. You looked to him and waited. This one's for you. Do not sacrifice the buddy. I'm begging you, please. Huh? This little one needs to be groomed. I figured you want to help. He took a small bottle and held it out to you. It needs to be cleaned. You can do that, can't you? You guessed the liquid inside was supposed to be for cleaning. You smiled and took it. I don't know a lot about bunnies, but isn't like a rule you're not supposed to bathe them like a bath or anything? Like you're supposed to take I think just a washcloth should be fine. Of course. You examined it as you pet the bunny to prevent it from getting restless. It was so soft you could melt. You held back a soft laugh. The priest had done everything else for you this entire time, and you wanted to jump on the opportunity to do something to serve him. You popped the cap off the glass bottle. A sweet scent drifted up. You smiled, tickled that the bunny got perfume water. It stayed on your face the whole time as you gave it a sprinkle bath. You slowly sprinkled drops of water onto the bunny. Your fingers combed it into its fur. The bunny relaxed at your caring touch. Your smile turned even bigger, seeing that it trusted you. The last drop fell out and soaked into slightly damp fur. You lightly ran your nails through it to calm the bunny. Good. He reached up and ran his fingers through your hair. Now that you've finished preparing it, you can offer the sacrifice up. Oh, was there any sacrifices in like the beginner's guide to this religion? What? He held up the hilt of a dagger and pushed it towards you. You froze, but he still held it towards you expectantly. Go on. No, if they give me a choice, I am refusing. Bro, out of your damn mind. No, You looked at the bunny. It innocently twitched its nose, completely unaware of what was being talked about. He smiled and the tension fell away. Very well. I was hoping you would at least be able to do this for him, after all he's done for you. But I suppose it can't be helped. He picked up the bunny and put it in the cage. He put a hand on your shoulder. I do want you to be comfortable after all. Instead, he turned and pulled out multiple candles and set them all around the altar. He handed some to you. One by one, you carefully set them in place. Instead, we'll use the candles to glorify him and let the scent please him. You nodded. So the bunny's fine, right? Do not tell me the bunny still gets hurt. Okay. That was much better than sacrificing the rabbit. You happily set each one in place. He took out a matchbox and handed it to you. Taking it into your hand, you picked a match out and struck it. The flame blazed softly. His hand gently clasped over yours and slowly guided the match in your hand to each candle. You could feel the heat of his chest on your back. You took in a deep breath, inhaling more of the fumes that drifted to your brain. He barely touched you, but it felt so warm. Your brain slowly turned fuzzy as you watched the flames light one by one. They flickered and danced, and you stood entranced. He guided your hands. It felt warm and soft. The lights flickered strangely, or was it normally? You couldn't remember. The light wasn't moving with your hand anymore. You almost asked why before you forgot the question. He pulled your hand down and twisted it and pulled it to the side. No, I don't. Oh my God. This man is sick. What the fuck? Oh my God. So we need to put a hit out on this priest. Is there even a god at this point? Like, I was kind of going back and forth if the god was real or not. This man is just using that as an excuse. Oh my God. What were you? Warmth spilled all over your hands. The warmth left them, but the warmth stayed. Something was wrong. Grip and rip off. Grip, twist, rip. A pinpoint of light moved towards your ear. Something searing, hot dripped onto your skin. Your mouth opened to cry, and you clumsily jerked. The pressure on your neck and shoulder swayed you back into place. The hot still dripped. It burned. Did he pour candle wax down me? Something covered your mouth. The hot plopped onto your arm. Everything blurred so much. You didn't remember falling asleep, but you woke up in bed. What is going on? So we keep having these moments where we're in a daze and we can't remember and we just pass out. So these candles, there's something wrong with these candles. Like their scent. Is there like a drug in these? Your head felt awful, but you drowsy pulled yourself up. What happened? What is this? Your eye caught a book. The head priest must have left it behind. You picked it up and looked to the door. Read the book. You couldn't leave to return it to him. Thankfully, he'll come back soon, so you could take it then. You sat on the mattress with the book in your lap, your finger taped on the cover. You looked down. You really shouldn't. But a follower needs to be informed about how to best serve God. What if it told you more about the ritual? You still didn't know anything about it. If it was something you shouldn't see, you could just close it. Carefully, you flipped the pages open and peeked inside. Please give me some truth about this situation. Mainly just handwriting. You think it was instructions or thoughts. You tried to skim and find something when an illustration gave you pause. Your stomach turned. Your fingers felt like lead as you turned back to it. You carefully studied the illustration. It was a drawing depicting someone on the altar being stabbed in a sacrificial fashion by a robed individual. Oh no. So we are going to be sacrificed. So it seems like joining our God just means dying. The person on the altar looked almost like you. Beneath it said, harem ritual, of course. Oh no. Oh no. The rest of the page detailed how God's new spouse should be sacrificed. The priest had been vague this whole time. I don't think they said anything about us being like a spouse or part of a harem, to tell you the truth. It was more like we would just worship our God, like once we see him, like what we're doing now in the church. Was this going to happen to you? Bitch, better open that damn door. You weren't supposed to leave, but the feeling in your gut said you needed to run. Your heart hammered in your chest, and a cold sweat broke over your whole body. Your hand trembled as you reached for the door. You weren't supposed to. You weren't supposed to. This was hearsay. This was disobedience. You sucked in a breath and twisted the doorknob, and you bolted out. You walked faster and faster. Are we still naked? You need to get away. Where to? You gave up where the place used to live long ago. You hadn't worked in years and had given nearly all your money to support this community. And anyone you ever knew outside the faith drifted apart from you before you even converted. In your panic, you ran into the summer room by mistake. Seeing this place so filled with memories of everyone made your stomach churn. We need to get out. Just forget about everyone. They do not matter to us at this time. We need to make sure ourselves are safe first. What if everyone else was in on it? What would you even do? It's been years since you've been employed, and you've given nearly all your money to your faith. Police at this point. You shook your head. Just as you turned and bolted to leave, you ran into someone. Not the priest. Olivia? Lottie? She looked you up and down. Her eyes widened and she gasped. What are you doing here? You aren't supposed to be here. Listen, I need your help. They're going to kill me. Does she know? What? Well, your mouth went dry. What if you just read it wrong? You shook your head. I saw the book. With the ritual they're going to do for me. There was a knife and they're going to kill me. Your lungs heaved with panic. You looked into her eyes. Olivia, please. Oh? Lottie, it's okay. It's okay. Nah, girl, get me out of here. She seemed to try and coax you and encourage you to sit down without touching you. They're going to sacrifice me. Well, yeah, that's how it works. Girl, no one told me. She seemed genuinely confused. You retire your earthly body so you can be with him. You aren't actually dying. You're just going to the beyond. Girl, with no proof of the beyond being real? You felt your head spinning and like your heart dropped. You tried to speak, but your world was covered in darkness. It's chalks, we're done. RIP to us. Yo, please come to my funeral and beat up these guys for me. I'm sorry. We need to get the God's chosen companion back. You weren't sure what happened next. Your whole mind went dark. You winced, and your eyes twitched beneath your eyelids as you finally came to. We're being sacrificed here, aren't we? Oh my God, it's over. The blurry world came into view. You squinted. It was hard beneath you. You tried to move. We're done, we're done, we're done. You tried again. You couldn't move. With growing panic, you attempted to turn your head to look around. It stayed still. You could only see the ceiling and the rest of the room in the corner of your eye. The sermon room. You heard his voice. Your breath caught, and terror seized your lungs. You saw your friends in the congregation in the corner of your eye. It's gonna be happening in front of everyone? You tried to open your mouth, to croak out something, anything, but even your tongue and jaw wouldn't work. His fingers ran across your forehead with a dab of something wet. It smelled sweet. Perfume water. You wanted to cry. Your body felt too heavy. You tried to talk, to scream, but your tongue refused. He moved and folded something up around you, like walls of a coffin swallowing you. You tried to scream, but no one could hear. With the wall around you, the only place you could see was up. And that was when you saw the knife. The priest's hand was raised high, and you couldn't breathe. The dagger got cruelly high above you before coming down. Your eyes shut. Your body dropped like you were ripped away. You felt like you were floating. When you tried to look again, you couldn't see anything until something appeared in the void. Oh shit! The God's real? Hey, buddy! Ooh, ooh, hey! Something stared at you with its one eye. Ooh, I kind of feel... You wouldn't send me to hell, right? Yes, I am who you think I am. I'm your God. You couldn't breathe. This was actually him. There is no other way to explain around it. I'm happy to see you, precious one. Ooh, warn him about the sacrifices? He must know about this. I think he has to know. But I want to know, it's his fault this happened. Bro. I'm gonna be antagonistic. I don't like this. I'm not bowing down to this damn God. You've... The small flick of anger burned bright. This is all because of you. You don't actually care about any of us, do you? He tricked you. Whatever do you mean? I care so deeply about my followers. I think you need a nap. I don't need a nap. And never raise your voice at me. Okay, sir. Respect is important, you know. Ungrateful children who don't respect authority end up alone and dead. You thought you heard him sigh. I'll snuff out that rebellious shriek soon enough. With my love, and soon enough you'll be showering me with all the love you want to give. Let's get started now. I've been waiting so long for this. Black tendrils from his form. At least you assumed that was his form and snared you. The cold, almost slimy and airy feeling of it made you flail. They turned firm and crawled around your legs and hip. They tugged your lower body closer to him and rotated you back. They pulled your legs apart and swept over your groin. You squirmed, and it only pressed more firmly and insistently into you. When I think about tentacles, not like in this situation, sir. I don't want you. You made the mistake of letting out a sound at one movement, and the tendril repeated the motion over and over again. It only pulled back for just a second when you were panting and your nerves were on fire, only to lift underneath your pure white robe and slowly peel it off. It dragged up your body slowly as it lifted off the material. It swept up to your face, and the tip pressed against your lips. It pushed in for a second before flicking off the robe and forcefully thrusting into your mouth. You gagged as your throat bulged. Another flick between your legs again. A moan erupted from around the invasive flesh as he played with you. He exposed and abused every sensitive spot and forcefully revealing it all. That's it. Praise me with your sounds of worship. This god is ridiculous. He's insane. Okay, that guy is. Show me your devotion. Your throat spasmed as you met his gaze, staring deep into his eye that felt like another void, trying to drag you in. You choked on it and desperately worked to get a breath in, but it kept filling your throat. The tendril suddenly pulled out of your throat and you gasped, strings of saliva connecting it for just a moment. You breathed a sigh of relief as it fell out of you, until you felt something wet squirm between your ass cheeks. You opened your mouth, but before a word could come out, it plunged into your anus. You whimpered as it went in again and again, and stroked the inside and twisted and spun. He played with your throbbing flesh, forcing you to get closer while he fucked your ass. Oh my god! Forcing songs of worship from your mouth. Eventually, it withdrew all but one tendril. You were shaking and twitching. Your body laid on a large tendril. His eyes watched you. Your body braced for him to start doing it again, but he didn't. He just watched. Ha, sweet thing. You'll get used to this. It's all to make me happy. You have all of eternity? Bro, this is hell. We're actually in hell. All of eternity to please your master. So what happened to the other people? Are they still here? Did they break? Is that why he gets a new person? But I do love seeing the new ones get broken in. You panted as you still caught your breath. Do you actually enjoy that? Sex? You paused and nodded. Yes. Oh, okay. Would a god really have a sex drive? But he was a being beyond your comprehension. He might. I see you have a question, precious one. Why? It feels interesting, and I love to see how you beings react. No questions, only feeling. A tendril swiped against your sex again. Why question anything when all you have to do is worship me? I hope you'll stay my favorite for at least a few decades, maybe a century or two. Centuries. You said eternity, but it didn't click before. More than 100 years. Much longer than that. You didn't think I was going to let you die, did you? You belong to me. Always. Is that how it ends? Don't tell me that's how it ends. Oh. I enjoyed playing that one. That one definitely gave me another sense of deep dread in the pit of my stomach. I felt so gross playing that one. Okay. So that was Fall into Prayer. I am flabbergasted. I tell you guys that one. I don't know if there's even a route where you escape somehow. I want to try and play this again, and hopefully I can find a way to escape this cult. Is it just bleak? Am I just stuck to be the sexual plaything of this damn god? Well, as always, I have left links in the description if you guys want to try out this game yourself. Definitely try it out yourself and just feel that sense of dread as you read everything, and you just feel like you kind of want to throw up a little and just maybe get hit by a bus. Oh, I really enjoyed that one. Usually with Yandere games, I play more into the romancing the Yandere characters, and I'm really enjoy that stuff. But in this one, it's more like I want to escape so badly. I do not want to participate in this. So I kind of like that variety in the Yandere games that's been submitted to this game jam. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed me just freaking out and feeling very uncomfortable. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, what have you. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Bye bye!